Hi everyone. So as you guys are aware that in Kriya Sharir or in physiology we are having two different portions in which there is one Ayurved portion and the another one is modern portion. So we are going to start the modern portion and in that we are going to learn about cell physiology first. So it will continue for some lectures and in exam it is having uh, much more weightage because there are many different questions which can be asked from this topic. So let's start. So cell, if I have to introduce the cell, then as we all know that all the living things are composed of cells. A single cell is the smallest unit that has all the characteristics of life. And if I have to give the definition of cell, then cell is the structural and functional unit of the body. So basically our body is made up of different cells, as we have learnt this in science subject in school also. So what can be the general characteristics of cell? So each cell in the body needs nutrition and oxygen, produces its own energy which is necessary for its growth, repair and other activities, eliminates carbon dioxide and other metabolic wastes, maintain the environment for its survival, shows immediate response to the entry of invaders like bacteria or toxic substances in the body, and reproduce by division. So these are the general characteristics of cell. Now we'll talk about tissue. What is tissue? So it is defined as a group of cells having similar functions. There are many types of tissues in the body, and all the tissues are classified into four major types which are called the primary tissues. In that, first is muscle tissues. For example, skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, cardiac muscle. Nervous tissue, neurons and supporting cells, epithelial tissue, squamous, columnar, cuboidal epithelial. And fourth is connective tissue, cartilage, bone and blood are the example of connective tissue. So in this figure, I have tried to show you four types of tissues. First is connective tissue. Just see the structure. There is an epithelial tissue, muscle tissue and nervous tissue. So what is connective tissue? Which connects all parts of body. Epithelial tissue, surfaces of body inside and outside. It's made up of epithelial tissue. Muscle makes parts of the body move, and nervous tissue which controls messages between the brain and part of the body. It's just for your knowledge. This kind of question is not being asked, but this is just for your knowledge. Now what is organ? So an organ is defined as a structure that is formed by two or more primary types of tissue which execute the functions of the organ. Some organs are composed of all the four types of primary tissues, and they are of this type: hollow organs, compact or parenchymal organs. Now we'll talk about the structure of the cell. Each cell is formed by a cell body and a membrane covering the cell body called the cell membrane. Cell body has two parts, namely nucleus and cytoplasm surrounding the nucleus. So there is the nucleus and the cytoplasm is in the periphery of the nucleus. So we can say that nucleus is surrounded by the cytoplasm. This is how the structure of the cell is studied under three headings. First is cell membrane, second is cytoplasm, and third is nucleus. So in this figure, I'm sure you all know this figure. we have learnt it in school, but still, here we can see the mitochondria in the upper part. This is the mitochondria. Then there is a Golgi apparatus. Then a nucleolus. This is nucleus. These are centrioles. These are the microtubules. This is the cytoplasm. This is ribosome. Cell membrane. Rough endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Golgi vesicles. Lysosome. And pinocytotic vesicles. So you have to remember this figure, because when in theory exam, if the question of 10 marks is being asked that write down the cell physiology, then you have to draw this figure. Cell membrane. Cell membrane is a protective sheath enveloping the cell body. It is also known as plasma membrane. This membrane separates the fluid outside the cell, called extracellular fluid, and inside the cell, called intracellular fluid. The cell membrane is a semi-permeable membrane, so there is free exchange of certain substances between ESF, which is extracellular fluid, and ICF, which is intracellular fluid. Thickness of the cell membrane varies from 75 to 111. Now we'll see the composition of the cell membrane. Cell membrane is composed of 3 types of substances, which are proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates. And that proteins would be of 55%, lipids are of 40%, and carbohydrates are of 5%. Structure of cell membrane. So on the basis of structure, cell membrane is called the unit membrane or a 3-layered membrane. The electron microscopic study reveals 3 layers of cell membrane, namely 1 central electron lucent layer and 2 electron dense layers. The 2 electron dense layers are placed one on either side of the central layer, and the central layer is a lipid layer formed by the lipid substances. The other 2 layers are protein layers formed by proteins. Cell membrane contains some carbohydrate molecules also. Now we'll see the structural model of the cell membrane. So there are different physicists who has given their different models, letting us know the structural model of the cell membrane. First in them are Daniel-Davidson model. Daniel-Davidson model was the first proposed basic model of membrane structure. It was proposed by James F. Daniel and Hugh Davison in 1935, and it was accepted by the scientists for many years. This model was basically a sandwich of lipids covered by proteins on both the sides. Then there was a unit membrane model. In 1957, J.D. Robertson replaced Daniel-Davidson model on the basis of electron microscopic studies. And third is fluid mosaic model. So later in 1972, S.J. Singler and G.L. Nicholson proposed the fluid mosaic model. According to them, the membrane is fluid with mosaic of protein. So here mosaic means a pattern formed by the arrangement of different colored pieces of stone or tile or glass or other such substances. So this model is accepted by the scientists till now. In this model, the proteins are found to float in the lipid layer instead of forming the layers of the sandwich type model. So right now this model has been accepted. Then we'll talk about the lipid layers of the cell membrane. The central lipid layer is bilayered structure. This is formed by a thin film of lipids. The characteristic feature of lipid layer is that it is fluid in nature and not a solid structure. So the portions of the membrane move from the point to another point along the surface of the cell. The materials dissolved in lipid layer also move to all areas of the cell membrane. Major lipid layers are phospholipids and cholesterol. Maybe this can be asked in Viva. Phospholipids. Phospholipids are the lipid substances containing the phosphorus and fatty acid. Aminophospholipids, sphygmomyelins, phosphatidylcholine, and there are other phospholipids which are present in the lipid layer of the cell membrane. Phospholipid molecules are arranged in two layers. Each phospholipid molecule resembles a headed pin in shape, and the outer part of the phospholipid molecule is called the head portion and the inner portion is called the tail portion. So you should not have to remember all the names of these phospholipids, just what phospholipid is and what it contains and how it is being arranged. Head portion is the polar end and it is soluble in the water and has strong affinity for water, which is hydrophilic. Tail portion is the non-polar end. It is insoluble in water and repelled by the water. It is hydrophobic. Two layers of phospholipids are arranged in such a way that the hydrophobic tail portion meet in the center of the membrane. Hydrophilic head portions of the outer layer face the ECF and those of the inner layer face ICF. Then cholesterol. Cholesterol molecules are arranged in between the phospholipid molecules. Phospholipids are soft and oily structures and cholesterol helps to pack the phospholipids in the membrane. So cholesterol is responsible for the structural integrity of the lipid layer of the cell membrane. Functions of the lipid layer in the cell membrane. So lipid layer of the cell membrane is a semi-permeable membrane and allows only the fat-soluble substances to pass through it. So this is how the fat-soluble substances like oxygen, carbon dioxide and alcohol can pass through the lipid layer. The water-soluble substances such as glucose, urea, electrolytes cannot pass through this layer. Protein layers of the cell membrane. Protein layers of the cell membrane are electron-dense layers. These layers cover the two surfaces of the central lipid layer. Protein layers give protection to the central lipid layer. The protein substances present in these layers are mostly glycoproteins. Protein molecules are classified into two categories. First is integral proteins or transmembrane proteins, and second is peripheral proteins or peripheral membrane proteins. Integral proteins. Integral or transmembrane proteins are the proteins that pass through entire thickness of the cell membrane from one side to the another side. These proteins are tightly bound with the cell membrane. Examples of integral portion are cell adhesion proteins, cell junction proteins, some carrier proteins, channel proteins, some hormone receptors, antigens and some enzymes. Peripheral proteins. Peripheral proteins or peripheral membrane proteins are the proteins which are partially embedded in the outer and inner surfaces of the cell membrane and do not penetrate the cell membrane. Peripheral proteins are loosely bound with integral proteins or lipid layer of cell membrane. So these protein molecules dissociate rapidly from the cell membrane. What can be the example of peripheral proteins? Proteins of cytoskeleton, some carrier proteins and some enzymes. Functions of the proteins in cell membrane. Integral proteins provide the structural integrity to the cell membrane. Channel protein help in the diffusion of water soluble substances like glucose and electrolytes. Carrier or transporter proteins help in the transport of substances across the cell membrane by means of active or passive transport. We'll learn all the things like diffusion, active and passive transport, every definition later on. pump. Some carrier proteins act as pumps by which ions are transported actively across the cell membrane. Receptor proteins serve as the receptor sites of hormones and neurotransmitters. Enzymes. Some of the protein molecules form the enzymes and control chemical reactions within the cell membrane. Antigens. Some protein acts as antigen and induce the process of antibody formation. Cell adhesion molecules or the integral proteins are responsible for the attachment of the cells to their neighbors or to basal lamina. Carbohydrates of the cell membrane. Some of the carbohydrate molecules present in cell membrane are attached to proteins and form glycoproteins. Some carbohydrate molecules are attached to lipid and form glycolipids. Carbohydrate molecules form a thin and loose covering over the entire surface of the cell membrane called glycocalyx. Function of the carbohydrates in cell membrane. So carbohydrate molecules are negatively charged and do not permit the negatively charged substances to move in and out of the cell. Glycocalyx from the neighboring cells helps in the tight fixation of the cells with one another. Some carbohydrate molecules function as a receptor for some hormones. Now this is important. So if you are writing the cell physiology, then you have to write down the functions of cell membrane. As I have told you that there are 3 parts and one of them is cell membrane, so it is important. The first function of cell membrane is protective function. Cell membrane protects the cytoplasm and the organelles present in the plasm. Selectively permeability. Cell membrane acts as semi-permeable membrane which allows only some substances to pass through it and acts as a barrier for other substances. Absorptive function. Nutrients are absorbed into the cell through the cell membrane. Excretory function. Metabolites and other waste products from the cell are excreted out through the cell membrane. Exchange of gases. Oxygen enters the cell from the blood and carbon dioxide leaves the cell and enters the blood through the cell membrane. Maintenance of shape and size of the cell. Cell membrane is responsible for the maintenance of the shape and size of the cell. So if you can't remember anything in cell membrane, then what resides in cell membrane and the functions of cell membrane you have to remember. Okay. Then cytoplasm. Cytoplasm of the cell is the jelly-like material formed by 80% of water. It contains a clear liquid portion called cytosol and various particles of the different shape and size. These particles are proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, electrolytes in nature. Cytoplasm also contains many organelles with distinct structure and function. So now cytoplasm is made up of 2 zones. First is ectoplasm, which is peripheral part of the cytoplasm situated just beneath the cell membrane, and endoplasm, inner part of the cytoplasm interposed between the ectoplasm and the nucleus. Organelles in cytoplasm. This is important again. Cytoplasmic organelles are the cellular structures embedded in the cytoplasm. Organelles are considered small organs of the cell. Some organelles are bound by limiting membrane and others do not have limiting membrane. Each organelle is having a definite structure and specific functions. So organelle with limiting membrane, first we'll talk about that. So which are those organelles we are having limiting membrane? So first is endoplasmic reticulum, then Golgi apparatus, then lysosome, peroxisome, centrosome and centrioles, secretory vesicles, mitochondria, nucleus. And organelles without limiting membrane, ribosomes, cytoskeleton. You have to remember all these things. First, we'll talk about the organelles with limiting membrane. And that first is endoplasmic reticulum. So, endoplasmic reticulum is a network of tubular and microsomal vesicular structures which are interconnected with each other. It is covered by limiting membrane, which is formed by proteins and bilayered lipids. The lumen of endoplasmic reticulum contains a fluid medium called the endoplasmic matrix. The diameter of the lumen is about 400 to 700. The endoplasmic reticulum forms a link between nucleus and cell membrane by connecting the cell membrane with the nuclear membrane. Types of endoplasmic reticulum. So endoplasmic reticulum is of two types, namely rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Both the types are interconnected and continuous with one another, depending upon the activities of the cells. The rough endoplasmic reticulum changes to smooth endoplasmic reticulum and vice versa. Rough endoplasmic reticulum. It is the endoplasmic reticulum with rough, bumpy or bead-like appearance. Rough appearance is due to the attachment of granule ribosomes to its outer surface. Hence, it is called the granular endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum is vesicular or tubular in structure. Functions of a rough endoplasmic reticulum. First is the synthesis of protein. Rough endoplasmic reticulum is concerned with the synthesis of proteins in the cell. It is involved with the synthesis of mainly those proteins which are secreted from the cells, such as insulin from beta cells of islets of Langerhans in pancreas and antibodies from B lymphocytes. Ribosomes arrange the amino acids into small units of proteins and transport them into the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Here, the carbohydrates are added to the protein units, forming the glycosylated proteins or glycoproteins, which are arranged in the form of reticular vesicles. These vesicles are transported mainly to Golgi apparatus for further modification and processing. Few vesicles are transported to other cytoplasmic organelles. Second function of rough endoplasmic reticulum is degeneration of worn out organelles. Rough endoplasmic reticulum also plays an important role in the degradation of worn out cytoplasmic organelles, like mitochondria. It wraps itself around the worn out organelles and forms a vacuole, which is often called the autophagosome. Here, autophagosome is digested by the lysosomal enzymes. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It is the endoplasmic reticulum with smooth appearance. It is also called the agranular reticulum. It is formed by many interconnected tubules. So, it is also called the tubular of endoplasmic reticulum. Functions of smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Synthesis of non-protein substance. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for synthesis of non-protein substances such as cholesterol and steroid. This type of endoplasmic reticulum is abundant in cells that are involved in the synthesis of lipids, phospholipids, lipoprotein substances, steroid hormones, sebum, etc. The most of the other cells, smooth endoplasmic reticulum is less extensive than the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Second is role in cellular metabolism. Outer surface of smooth endoplasmic reticulum contains many enzymes which are involved in various metabolic processes of the cell. Third is storage and metabolism of calcium. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum is a major site of the storage and metabolism of calcium. In skeletal muscle fibers, it releases calcium, which is necessary to trigger the muscle contraction. Fourth is catabolism and detoxification. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum is also concerned with catabolism and detoxification of toxic substances like some drugs and carcinogens. Carcinogens means cancer producing substances in the liver. So generally, if you have been asked in 5 marks question that write down the short note about the endoplasmic reticulum, then you have to write down about the brief about rough and smooth, why it is called like that, and the functions of both the endoplasmic reticulum. Then Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus or Golgi body or Golgi complex is any membrane bound organelle involved in the processing of proteins. It is present in all the cells except red blood cells. It is named after the discoverer Camillo Golgi. Usually each cell has one Golgi apparatus. Some of the cells may have more than one Golgi apparatus. Each Golgi apparatus consists of 5 to 8 flattened membranous sacs called the cisternae. Golgi apparatus is situated near the nucleus. It has two ends or faces, namely cis face and trans face. The cis face is positioned near the endoplasmic reticulum. Reticular vesicles from the endoplasmic reticulum enter the Golgi apparatus through cis face. The trans phase is situated near the cell membrane. The processed substances make their exit from Golgi apparatus through the trans phases. Functions of Golgi apparatus. Major functions of Golgi apparatus are processing, packing, labeling and delivery of proteins and other molecules like lipids to different parts of cell. Other than that, the functions are like processing of material. Vesicles containing glycoproteins and lipids are transported into Golgi apparatus. Here, the glycoproteins and lipids are modified and processed. Second is packaging of materials. All the processed materials are packed in the form of secretory granules, secretory vesicles and lysosomes, which are transported either out of the cell or to another part of the cell. Because of this, Golgi apparatus is called the post office of the cell. So this can be asked in the Viva that what is post office of the cell. Then you have to remember that we are talking about the Golgi apparatus. Third is labeling and delivery of materials. So finally, the Golgi apparatus sorts out the processed and packed materials and labels them depending upon the chemical content for distribution or delivery to their proper destinations. Hence, the Golgi apparatus is called the shipping department of the cell. This is also important. You have to remember that what is shipping department of the cell. So that is Golgi apparatus. So again, it can be asked in 5 marks short note. So you have to remember the what is Golgi apparatus and what are the functions of that. Lysosomes. Lysosomes are the membrane-bound vesicular organelles found throughout the cytoplasm. The lysosome are formed by Golgi apparatus. The enzymes synthesized in rough endoplasmic reticulum are processed and packed in the form of small vesicles in the Golgi apparatus. Then these vesicles are pinched off from Golgi apparatus and become the lysosomes. Among the organelles of the cytoplasm, the lysosomes have the thickest covering membrane. The membrane is formed by the bilayered lipid materials. It has many small granules which contains hydrolytic enzymes. Types of lysosomes. Primary lysosomes, which is pinched off from Golgi apparatus. It is inactive in spite of having hydrolytic enzymes. And second are secondary lysosomes, which is the active lysosome. It is formed by the fusion of a primary lysosome with phagosome or endosome. Functions of lysosome. Lysosomes are often called the garbage system of the cell because of their degradation activity. So you have to remember this, This can be asked in Viva. Garbage system of the cell, that is lysosomes. About 50 different hydrolytic enzymes known as acid hydroxylases, which are present in the lysosomes, through which lysosome execute their functions. Important lysosomal enzymes: proteases, which hydrolyze the protein into amino acids; lipases, which hydrolyze the lipid into fatty acid and glycerides; amylases, which hydrolyze the polysaccharides into glucose; and nucleases, which hydrolyze the nucleic acid into mononucleotides. Mechanism of lysosomal function. So lysosomal function involves two mechanisms. First is heterophagy, which is digestion of the extracellular materials engulfed by the cell via endocytosis. And second is autophagy, digestion of intracellular materials such as worn out cytoplasmic organelles. Now there are the specific functions of lysosomes. First is degradation of the macromolecules. So macromolecules are engulfed by the cell by means of endocytosis. The macromolecules such as bacteria engulfed by the cell via phagocytosis are called the phagosome or vacuoles. The other macromolecules taken inside via pinocytosis receptor mediator endocytosis are called the endosomes. The primary lysosome fuses with the phagosome or endosome to form the secondary lysosome. The pH of the secondary lysosome becomes acidic and the lysosomal enzymes are activated. The bacteria and the other macromolecules are digested and degraded by these enzymes. The secondary lysosome containing these degraded waste products moves through cytoplasm and fuses with the cell membrane. So now the waste products are eliminated by exocytosis. Second is degradation of the worn out organelles. The rough endoplasmic reticulum wraps itself around the worn out organelles like mitochondria and form the vacuoles called autophagosomes. One primary lysosome fuses with other autophagosome to form a secondary lysosome. The enzymes in the secondary lysosomes are activated. So now these enzymes digest the contents of the autophagosome. Third function of lysosome is removal of excess secretory products in the cells. Lysosomes in the cell of the secretory glands remove the excess secretory products by degrading the secretory granules. Fourth function is the secretory function. Recently, lysosomes having secretory functions called the secretory lysosomes are found in some of the cells, particularly in the cells of immune system. The conventional lysosomes are modified into secretory lysosomes by combining with secretory granules. So this can be also asked in 5 marks question that write down the short note about the lysosomes. So you have to write down the types, the functions, the mechanism in brief, of course, and specific functions of the lysosome. If you can't remember everything, at least you should have to remember the heading of the specific function, like degradation of the macromolecules, degradation of worn out organelle, removal of the excessive secretory products in cells, and secretory functions. Okay, so we are keeping it here. I know you all have learnt about this topic, but again you have to, and it is very important for the exams. So yeah, if you are having any query regarding this, let me know. Thank you.